Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Crowd Chatter Podcast. Today, I'm going to be releasing the video with the other one I did a few days ago. I'm doing this one a few days later, as you can tell, because there's nothing here. If you've seen my college video, I'm going to have a full beard. I literally pretty much just shaved it all off, so this is like as fresh as can be. Well, welcome back to the Crowd Chatter Podcast, everybody. Bit of it, I look a little bit different, but still gonna be the same me talking today. Um, Today we're going to do a video on the AFC East. Now, as I said, I already did my college video. If you have not seen that, go ahead and check that out. I'll be doing this one. I'll be releasing them pretty much the same time, probably some point today. I'm doing this about like 6 o'clock on the 6th, so obviously a lot of time still left. But I'm gonna get into this video. This is going to be pretty much similar to what I did for the college video. Again, if you have not seen that, go ahead and check that out. But basically, what I did for the college video was over-unders for each team. Now, for college football, there is way more teams, so it takes a little bit to go through everybody. And so I kind of breeze through those rather quickly. With the NFL teams, it's a lot easier to go through them uh, because there's not nearly as many teams to go through per division. So, since I don't have nearly as many teams to go through, it makes it a lot easier. So, with this one, I am going to be going over the AFC East. Like I said, I'll be starting with the AFC East, and then I'll go all the way until I finish with the NFC West. So, I'll be doing it pretty much alphabetically. And starting this one, we have the Buffalo Bills. Now, similar again to the college video, I will be going with Vegas Insider. I don't know how like accurate this is. I don't know how reliable it is either, but this is what I'll be going over. So, um, the Buffalo Bills are the first team we have on here. And they start the year with a doozy. Is Sunday Night Football. They'll head up and play the Baltimore Ravens at home. They will be at home, but it's still a very difficult week one game, and obviously Sunday Night Football. So I mean, gonna be a good one, obviously. Then they have the Jets in MetLife. 3 straight home games. The Dolphins, Saints, and Patriots all come to town before they go on the road to take on the Falcons and get their first bye of the season, or get their bye of the season. Uh, I say like 2 buys because at college they have 2 this year, but NFL they only have 1. So I just should say they're bye. Then they go on the road to take on the Carolina Panthers, home to the Kansas City Chiefs. Obviously, everybody will want to see that game. Um, on the road now, on the road against Miami, excuse me. Then the Tampa Bay Bucks at home, on the road against Houston and Pittsburgh. Then we'll have a home game against the Cincinnati Bengals, back on the road against both the Patriots and Browns, and then finish the year at home against the Philadelphia Eagles and the New York Jets. So the over-under win total for the Buffalo Bills uh, sits at a whopping 11.5, which is actually the highest for this year of any team for this Vegas Insider website. Now, the Bills, I think, are gonna win the division again. So I am going to go over for them. I think at the very least, I think they'll be 12-5. Um, I'll just type it in for myself here. But I think that they're going to win the division. I think the Bills are the best team. We'll see how it goes for them. I mean, of course, I got preseason stuff down here too, but I mean, no one really cares about that. They don't really talk about the preseason games on here, so it doesn't really make much of a difference. Um, but this should be a very good Bills team. I mean, as long as they have Josh Allen, they're going to be a very good football team. So yes, I'm going over 11.5 for the Buffalo Bills. I mean, you got the only question for me with Buffalo would be the receiving core. How good do they do? Um, and we said this last year too. I mean, we said this when they let go of Stephon Diggs, drafted Keon Coleman. We said, well, what are they going to do the receiver position? And Josh Allen Josh Allen proceeds to turn in an MVP season. So I mean, I don't know what really what you need from this man. I think. I mean, we said the same thing about Mahomes. He turns in great. Whoops, that came out. He turns in great seasons too. So you know, gotta like it. And for the Bills, yeah, they did. They made some improvements on the defensive end. We'll have to see, but I mean, I can't. Like I said, as long as Josh Allen is a part of this team, the Bills are going to have a chance to do just about anything they want. So, um, yeah, Josh Allen's still on the team. He is healthy. He is also now married. Congratulations, my man. Um, yeah, if you're the Bills, as long as you got Josh Allen, you're good to go. You're gonna have a chance no matter what you do, and you still have Josh Allen. So I like the Buffalo Bills. They'll win the division at the very least. You got guys like Joey Bosa coming in, of course. Um, yeah, definitely a team to be watching out for this year. Can't remember who their first round pick was, or did they even make one? I honestly can't remember. Let me. I legitimately cannot remember who. Oh yes, they got themselves a corner. That's right. Okay. But yeah, Bills. I got winning the division. Outstanding team. Watch out for them this year. I mean, you always got to watch out for them. Like I said, Josh Allen. I need to stop talking about him. Josh Allen is all they need. Miami Dolphins are next. As I said, I'm going to be taking more time with these teams because I can, and I don't have nearly as many teams to go over anymore. So, the Miami Dolphins, they start the year on the road, taking on the Indianapolis Colts. They'll be then home. They'll have their first home game, yeah, against the New England Patriots. On the road against said Bills. Back home to take on the Jets. On the road to take on the Panthers. Back home to take on the Chargers. On the road against both the Browns and the Falcons, back home against both the Ravens and the Bills as a nasty slate of two games at home. Not to mention the next one, which will be all the way over in Madrid, the first Spain game in NFL history. We'll get to take another tough team, the Washington Commanders, before they get their bye. And then we'll get a bit of some easier games, the New Orleans Saints at home, road games against the Jets and Steelers, home to the Bengals and Buccaneers, and then finish in New England on the road. Over under for the Miami Dolphins is 8.5. 8.5 for the Miami Dolphins. Um, Not a crazy number. I think that's honestly like literally perfect for them. 8.5, I think, is a very just middling number, and that's like perfect because they could go. I think it can go either way for them. This is a tough one because looking at Miami. I think this team is better than we saw last year. Obviously, you've got Mike McDaniel on the hot seat. Really, we don't know what's going to happen there. We don't really know. He's on the hot seat. We'll see what happens this year. If they don't make the postseason, does he end up getting canned? If they make the postseason and don't go very far, what happens then? I don't know. Um, Very interested in seeing how this goes for the Dolphins. So, and obviously in terms of the draft, they got themselves Kenneth Grant in the first round. That'll be nice to have up front. They got Melifonwu as well at the safety position. So I mean, they got dudes to help out, make things easier for them. Obviously, they have issues with corner as well as the offensive line. But Mike McDaniel knows how to run offenses. I think this will be a solid team. The question for me is really just going to be, can they get above that, 8-win mark? But I do think that this is going to be a good season for the Miami Dolphins. I'm gonna go under. I think it'll be 8 and 9 for them again, or somewhere around there. It's a tough one. I'll go under. It's tough. It's tough, but I'll go under for Miami. But the offense is going to be good. We know what the offense is going to be. I mean, yes, Tyreek Hill has some character concerns, but he's still Tyreek Hill. Tua is still a fine QB. Jalen Waddle can still play. Devon A-Chain can still play, or A-Chain, whatever it is. They got running backs galore in Miami. I mean, they've got Jalen Wright. They apparently signed Alexander Madison. They drafted Ollie Gordon. I mean, they've got everybody that they could possibly want on the offensive end at running back, receiver. I mean, like I said, main concern for me is really on offense would be Tyreek Hill. He, like I said, character issues, obviously. How does that really affect the rest of the team? And in terms of the defensive end, um, how does everything like bode together? Do the additions work out, or is the defense still going to be an issue? But for the Dolphins, I'm gonna go slightly under. I'm gonna say 8-9. I think it's a good team. I think they'll certainly have a solid middling season. I just don't know if it's going to be enough for a playoff run. It's tough to say. But if you're making me choose and say, do I think Miami will make the playoffs or not? I'm just going to say no. I'm just going to say more than likely not. But again, like I said, hard to really say. I think that's one that could simply go really either way. So now we have now halfway through, we go on to our second team, being the New York or third team in this division, being the New York Jets. So the Jets, Jets. Start off with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and now that we know that Aaron Rodgers is finally actually heading to Pittsburgh, thankfully that whole saga's over. He's officially going to the Pittsburgh Steelers, so that'll be quite the revenge game in Week 1. They'll follow that home game with a home game against the Buffalo Bills. Road games against both Tampa Bay and Miami for the Jets. Then they'll be at home against the Dallas Cowboys before going. I believe that's a London game. So they'll be in London against Denver. I think there's only, yeah, that's a Denver game. That's a London game. They'll be in London against Denver, back home against the Carolina Panthers, on the road against the Cincinnati Bengals before they get their bye. They'll then have the Cleveland Browns at home, on the road against the Patriots and the Ravens, at home against the Falcons and Dolphins, on the road against the Jaguars and Saints, home to the Patriots, and on the road to finish against the Buffalo Bills. Over under for the New York Jets is set at a measly 5.5. Wow. Okay. So this is an easy one for me. Um, and I know this is probably going to be a little wild to some people, what I'm about to say here. I have definitely over for the New York Jets. And call me crazy, this is a playoff team. I know that sounds wild. I know everyone's going to be like, there is no way he just called the Jets a playoff team. Listen to me on this one. The Jets were run by Aaron Rodgers. The reason the Jets never went anywhere is because Aaron Rodgers ran that team. And then before that, of course, they just didn't have a quarterback to speak of. And at this point of Aaron Rodgers' career, he's more of a problem than he is a solution. And the minute that the Jets brought him in, it was a mistake. And I was proven right by the fact that first year he never even played. And they had to go back to Zach Wilson, who they already obviously had zero trust in because they went and got Aaron Rodgers. Then when Rodgers did play, he was a disaster. And all he did was go online and, talk to Pat McAfee and whatever else and just be his weird whatever self. You don't need Aaron Rodgers on the team. And the minute Aaron Glenn came in, they got, Robert Saleh obviously was dismissed. They brought in Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn said, no, no, we're not doing this, we're not doing this Rodgers charade. So they got rid of him. They moved on. They went ahead and got Justin Fields. I know people can't stand Justin Fields. I know they don't like him. I know everyone says he's a bust. I honestly don't understand that. I think Fields is way better than people give him credit for. You look at what he worked with the Chicago Bears. He had, I mean, and you can say this with a lot of guys, but he had horrible coaching, horrible offensive line, and absolutely no talent to speak of. Now you send him to a New York Jets team that has, some good offensive linemen that they've brought in, guys who they're developing, guys who are young and getting better every day. You've got a very good number one wide receiver in Garrett Wilson. You have a pretty darn good running back in Breece Hall. And you have arguably an outstanding defense that was a number one unit while Robert Saleh was there. And you're bringing in a defensive coach who somehow made the Lion defense that was absolutely pitiful in almost every aspect, not named Aiden Hutchinson, and he made that defense look competent. New York Jets are making the playoffs this year. And I know this is the Jets. They're going to be the Jets. They're going to screw it up somehow. I know that's what everyone's going to say. This isn't every year there's always a team that I've said like, they're going to have a breakout season. They're going to be the ones that, step up kind of thing. That's the Jets for me this year. I think the Jets, and I got another team as well that I'm really gonna that I have in mind, but they're not in this division. Um, so I like the Jets though this year. So I keep saying so. I got the Jets going very much over. I have them as a playoff team. Wild, I know, crazy, maybe a crazy take for some, but I got the Jets. I like them this year. I think they're going to be a bit of a surprise in the NFL. So next we have the New England Patriots. They are the last team that we'll be going over for this video. The New England Patriots, they start off the year staying at home, excuse me, to take on the Las Vegas Raiders. Then they head on the road, on the road to take on the Miami Dolphins. Back home against the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Carolina Panthers. 3 straight road games against the Bills, Saints, and Titans. Home games against the Browns and the Falcons. Back on the road against the Tampa Bay Bucks. Home to the New York Jets. At the Cincinnati Bengals. Home to the New York Giants. Then they have their bye until they then get the Bills at home, Ravens and Jets on the road, and the Miami Dolphins to finish the year at home. The over-under for the New England Patriots is set at 7.5. That's a little ambitious. I'm going under for that. I think this will be a better team this year. I think probably something along the lines of maybe a 6-11 or a 5. I think a 6-11 season is probably realistic for them. But to say they're going to be at the very least 8 and 9, I think is a little too optimistic. um, but with the Patriots, I mean, listen, they certainly have a young team. They're certainly getting better. You draft yourself a very good offensive lineman to help out with that just enormous issue, obviously. You bring in Stephon Diggs, hoping he can help out your alien receiving core. Um, Obviously, you got Drake May, who's a pretty darn good player. He's been very good for you thus far. You also got Ramondre Stevenson and Travion Henderson, which is a solid 1-2 punch at the running back position. It's a mess. I mean, obviously you're bringing a new head coach in terms of, what is it? I almost said Mike Norvell. That's college. Mike Vrabel. Norvell, Vrabel. Okay, it's kind of close. Um, We're bringing in Mike Vrabel now as the head coach, of course. So, new head man. I think he is a lot better than what they had in Gerard Mayo. I do think it was a little bit of an early pulling the plug on Gerard Mayo, but I do think that Vrabel is the better coach. I'm surprised he wasn't the choice in the first place. Um, but I think this is going to be an interesting season for New England. I do think, like I said, I do think they'll take a step forward, and I do think they'll look a little bit better this year. But to say that New England is going to do like a 180, they're going to go from 3-14 to all of a sudden they're going to be 10-7 kind of thing. I don't know about that. I don't know if this is a team. I don't think this team is ready to be chasing a playoff berth just yet. Maybe another year or two, maybe. But as of right now, I don't see it for New England. I mean, yeah, they did bring in Carlton Davis as well in the at the corner position to go alongside Christian Gonzalez, which is a nice 1-2 punch. But like I said, to expect New England to do a total 180 and go from, a bottom feeding team to, whoa, we're going to be in the playoff chase. It's hard to do that. I don't care what team you are to do a 180 like that or do anything even like the Vikings did. I mean, they were what 7-10 last year and then went 14-3. I don't care who you are. That is very hard to do. No matter who you are or what you're doing, that is incredibly difficult. So, yeah, New England could do it. I just don't really think that's necessarily realistic for them. So that's it. That's all I got for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We're gonna have a lot more of these coming out over the next few weeks, of course. These normally I'd be doing it like on Tuesdays or at least uploading it on Wednesday or something like that. But I had a lot to do on Tuesday and I wasn't able to finish it all before. I don't know. You might be able to hear it over the college football one. My brother ended up coming in and wasn't able to finish it before he started dinner. I didn't want to do another one in the middle of him doing dinner, so I just cut out after that. So I had to do this on Friday. I didn't have time until now. So um, this should be coming out normally on like Tuesdays or Wednesdays. So one or the other. We'll see. So that's all I got for this video. As I said, I hope you guys enjoyed it. NFC East will be coming next week. And then the week after, of course, will be the next college football division, which will be the Big 12. And then there'll be the AFC North and then NFC North. And, you can figure it out from there. So that's all I got. Until next time, guys. Adios, everyone.